Hey, 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 go live. Go live. Four eyes. Working, working, working. Everything's kind of working. Monday stream. Boom, boom. Oh, wow, wow, wow. What do we got? What's this mean? Is it working? Seems to be working. I think we're good. Saintly. We're good, we're good. All right, Rosehill. We'll start at Rosehill. Start at the beginning. It's alive, Jack. It's alive. Start at Rosehill. This track obviously was a lot faster than what the rating suggested. Track looked a little bit funky early. Don't know if it actually got any dry. It did seem to get quicker as the day went on a little bit, but I think it was just mediocre opposition, mediocre runners the first few races. Definitely the wind played a part. Some quick early sections with a downwind and then into the straight. It was obviously into the headwind a touch, but yeah, times don't lie, do they? I don't know what the heck that run from Baywak was. The pattern certainly just off speed with cover, or if you got tempo to suit, you could definitely run on a bit for sure. Don't think it was easy though. I think the horses that did make ground from the back were still good performances compared to those up on speed, saving ground. Typical pretty Rosehill sort of pattern, I think, but it wasn't easy to lead and win. So it wasn't easy to have no cut. I think one horse won without cover except for Baywak, and it led. So, that's obviously not as bad as sort of outside leader or something like that, but into that headwind and then toughing it out, it just still doesn't make sense, that race, but we'll get there. I'll do the Manikato meeting. I'll do a couple of races or a few races from Manikato meeting, and I'll do some of the couple of those races from Sandown as well. All over the form. No. Did I watch the rant? No. What did I miss? I haven't watched it for quite some time. What did I miss? All right, we'll get straight into this because there's a lot to cover. Race one's a midway, I'm assuming, benchmark 72. This horse is a pretty good horse, Meridiana. The important part is you can see at the start, Josh is definitely negative on it, so definitely takes it back. They do overdo the speed here and then sort of anchor drop a bit. So the pattern of it didn't help that this horse had to circle them, but sort of softening the horses up front up and then anchor dropping a bit. And then there wasn't a lot of merit in the last sections either. So reportedly Alabama State, who was the favourite, did parade with a lot of improvement to come. So no surprise that it sort of didn't hit the line great. I think it was sort of D-Day for B12. I think this is a very nice race for it, so I can't see much improvement in it. Direct Fire, who we sort of talked about as a potential improver off its first up run, did. No idea. I'm not sure whether it missed the kick or what happened with Bellent here, but certainly if it was by design to ride it back, barrier blanket there, so it didn't jump great. I'd be forgiving of it. I think it's a horse that needs to be ridden on speed, definitely not a real back-marking run-on type. So, yeah, this horse was first up. It's got, it's a lot of upside. It's only a smallish side of it, but it's got a really nice little turn of foot. And as we sort of said, I think it can hold a spot pretty easily if it draws a gate. So, yeah, these leaders worked too hard early. V12 and Alabama State with the absolute ideal runs. And the eventual winners out the back last. Not a lot happens in the run, as you can see. So, yeah, so even though Josh didn't make a lot of ground between the 8 and the 6, where they slowed down quite a bit. So, he still had to come around them and run on. And the time coming home is not quick, but it's not quick, but it's not horrifically slow either. So, I think it's a pretty strong effort first up. So, the length back in here is a bit of a forgive, but testing the patience a little bit too. Would love a rider change for it. And V12, who was held up a little bit. Yeah, we don't want to bag jockeys too much, but I think Molly's approaching 100 rides in town without winning, and a lot of the horses are running well and just not getting the result. So I would assume that patience is being tested there, and it's not a personal thing. Just, you can see, like, the horses just losing balance at the right time. These horses are horses that need a lot to go their way to win, and it's just not quite giving them their chance. So V12 probably a little bit of a missed opportunity for it. But I don't see the improvement in this horse that what there is in this horse. So even though V12 probably should have been in the finish, I don't see it having the upside that Meridiana does for sure going forward. Alabama State can improve, but probably needs to. It definitely had its chance there. And then this horse beaten a long way, I think, can roll forward. And Racewell Direct Fire's going okay too. Yeah, winners should be going through the grades. Hey, Nikki. Just a matter of rider selection. Let's just put it that way. All right. Next. Yeah, I won't spend much time in this race. They go way too hard. They come home slow. I don't think it's a great race. Lots of interference. Lots of similar horses that are sort of battlers. Don't really see much in the race. The winner's not a bad horse and wasn't a bad effort. Pretty strong. Thought the horse that ran fourth, Fan Harder, is a horse with upside. Rodney Northern's horse is obviously absolutely airborne. And this horse was in the wrong part of the track first up and then raced outside the lead here second up. It's only ever had 3 starts. So to me, it's the only real horse I want to find going forward out of this race, I think. So it was 1,200, won on debut over 1,000. Then went first up 1,200, slowly run race up the inside, which was not the place to be, and got home. Then here it's gone straight from 12 to 1,500, which is incredible, really, and set up outside of speed. So, yeah, horrible placement for mine, but still has got upside and a pretty good effort.
Highway field is ready. Good long run to the first corner. They're set.
So they go about 10 lengths above to the 800 and about 7 lengths above to the 600 and then 8 lengths below coming home. So, the race has gone about 11 lengths below the last 800. So there's not a lot of merit in the back half of this race. Again, there's got that wind element to it, but you can see they are working quite hard. And this is Fan Harder here, up outside the leader. So it's arguably working the hardest of all. Horse comes around, he's still stuck outside the leader. Poison Point was 3 wide at this point, so its effort's very good as well, and it's certainly not a long way back. Gets a little bit of cover for a few hundred metres here, but still, not many horses did this on the day. Coella's a little bit unlucky back here in the pack, and there's a few other horses unlucky too, but as I said, it's this style of race. You probably want to revisit this race when a horse from this race. Warrior for Peace, I think, was lame, which is the favourite back here in the black with the Kavanagh colours. But this is Fan Harder here, sticking on extremely well. Wish you'd had a run like 7th or 8th. You'd probably get a better price about it next start run rather than 4th. But yeah, far and away the horse with the most upside, I think. But the winner's no knock on it either. I think it's pretty lightly raced. He starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 starts. That was its first highway win. Ran 3rd in the qualifier behind Gallant Star, so it's and bled there. So you've got to be careful of that. Horse is bleeding, but yeah, its first up run was good. and then, you know, it's gone on with it there. So, you know, no huge knock on the winner, but I think Fan Hard is the one. I would agree with that, Paul. Colin Stephen, this race looks very plain on paper. So they go at about 5 lengths below. They go get to the 800. Sorry, this 8 about 5 lengths below. 6 lengths below. Come home 3 below. So you're not expecting them to quicken too much into the win, but they never really quicken at all. Juju Kibo was a little bit plain. Did sit outside the leader, as you said. It was not an easy place to sit, but they're not working particularly hard. The leader doesn't drop off too badly. The winner gets the best run of all time and goes okay, but going towards a Metrop, you'd think it's going to struggle to measure up to that grade, even though it's not the strongest year in the history of the world. So nothing happens in the run. Nothing really happens at any stage in the race. He couldn't get enough on Juju Kibo, really. It looked a bit of a rinse and repeat of last start in the run, like it was just going to extend away from them. And even here, it looks like the horse is just going to quicken and put them away and just doesn't have that same turn of foot, or, you know, it doesn't have the energy reserves it had last time. And Piggyback just outwhacks it down the straight. It was how it looked on to the eye, if that makes sense. They just didn't really do a lot. Tara Mansour is just a one-batting staying type that just sort of got home okay late. Our Anchorage was okay. Sun and Sand was okay up to this distance. Trust in You's been going ordinary. It's only been beaten 3 lengths. So I think the race overall is pretty steady. I wouldn't imagine any of these horses will be troubling a Metrop placings next week. Yeah, I'd agree with that too, Paul, that he'll probably condition that horse's runs over the next 6 months or whatever around trying to qualify it again. I'd agree with that, absolutely. Race 4. So this is a much better race, only a 1900 metre race. There's a few horses here that I think are interesting going forward. One of them is not Strathtay. I've officially removed Strathtay from my vocabulary. I'm going to say Strathtay as many times as I can during this preview to really rinse those last few times I'm ever going to mention the horse out of my system. I think this horse, Nicosia, will be a nice horse probably in 6 months' time. Maybe not this prep, but it's a nice horse. This horse is flying. I actually thought the firm track would be against She's Unusual. Thought there was a chance that Nicosia and She's Unusual might take each other on. The only thing is, and it's if I put my tin hat on, these group of riders seem quite tight. So your Zach Lloyds, your Dillons, your Tyler Schillers. So again, it's just when you get to start to know these, not the riders, the areas, they tend to work it out. I would say, like they don't do each other. They don't do each other too much harm, is what I'd say. So I would imagine that they've gone out with a plan here, one way or the other. I'm not saying they've conferred. They're not saying there's any untoward. Don't take it that way. I just say, I like to look at different sets of riders, and when they're likely to clash on speed, some riders don't attack each other as much as the others. You know what I mean? They kind of work it out, and it normally works out in both the horses' favour, to be honest. It just they give their horses their chance rather than blow each other up, which is kind of the point, but it's only a tin hat observation from myself. And the winner does go very well here. So they go, what do? They go 3.6 above to the 8, slow down a little bit to the 6, 1.7, come home 1.2 above. So they're about 3 lengths above standard, and just a solid rolling good tempo the whole way. So an even tempo, fast time. The form should hold up here. I think there's a few interesting runners. So yeah, I think Nicosia definitely needs to toughen up. I think it's probably a preparation away, but it's dangerous next prep, which is the leader. She's Unusual is flying. I said I thought it needed a wet track, and it disproved that here. Runs fast time on a dry track and actually gets a bit keen through the middle. Strathtay's looking for hurdles. Flying Bandit back here is ready to win now. Huge weight here and got out the back, only got going late. And I think this horse is just your absolute green light special Chris Waller runner. Apprentice. They'll put Nash or J-Mac on it next start, I would imagine, and this horse is ready to win now. God's Window. So the two out the back, and the one, you know, so third the fence are probably the main horses of interest for me going forward here. Nicosi's not hopeless, can win a bit again this prep, but I think next prep it's going to make a nice horse. So the big boys off the bit here with a big weight. God's Window back towards the inside, just have another look around. And She's Unusual puts the race away pretty quickly with that ideal run for the day. So like just behind the speed with cover, absolutely ideal. Now this horse has got a nice turn of foot, this God's Window, and then sort of plateaus out late, ready to go. And the big boy just knows only one thing, how to wind up and keep winding up. But yeah, completely dominant. I think, you know, she's shown that she can sort of, she went way too quick last start. And yeah, with a bum to follow with a nice draw, it's good that she can add that to a string to a bow, that she can sort of settle behind a decent tempo there and quicken and lengthen and just continues. Like she's not weakening on the line. So actually her strongest furlong, oh, right, she basically runs home, you know, 16th fastest, last 800, 14th, 11th, 12th. So she's keeping that same momentum from the 800 metre mark, which is a great quality to have. So was Flying Bandit, but he was 10 lengths off the lead, you know, so it's much harder to win from that than a horse that can sit up on speed and do the same thing. Yeah, I'd say the same, Paul. I'd say the same, absolutely. Like it's not as if they're doing anything crazy. They just don't torch each other. I actually think that's a pretty good observation too, Trent. I think it would be an interesting horse to buy for a hurdle race, State of America. It's got ability. It's got flat ability. If you could get it to jump, it'd be very dangerous horse. So that's actually pretty good. I wouldn't imagine it's going to the Metro. Is it any good? Is it actually helpful? Are they honest in it, or does everything, you know, they say green and it's red? Well, it's not built to be a punning show, but if what they say is going to happen, happens. Like if you get any sort of guide to how horses are going to be ridden or whether they're ready or whether they've improved or anything like that, it's invaluable. But I tend to grey the shit out of myself when I watch those sorts of programs usually. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'd expect. I get the most out of Charlie's pre-race interviews because he can't hide his emotions. And no matter what he's saying, you can tell whether he's bullish or not. And, you know, normally he just lets something out that he doesn't mean to let out. I actually really like listening to Charlie pre-race, not so much Chris. Next race, Serati, they go 100 mile an hour here early, soften right up. They come home slow. The time's very fast. I think you got to be wary of the time. This race will probably overrate. The second horse, again, going to pick on Molly, is absolutely flying. I don't think it's been that well placed either. Sort of first up 1350 and then into a strong 1400. I actually think this horse is a pretty quick... I think it's 1,000 metre, 1,200 metre, 1,400 metre max horse as Garter. I think it's a pretty good horse. So whether it's got to 1,400 metres too quickly or not, you know, it's my opinion, obviously. But yeah, the horse is absolutely flying. Serati's an underrated horse that was a silly price here and ran well with things to suit. But he can settle closer in the run, and he's definitely can win again off the back of this. Lord of Biscay pulled up with a little issue. Glyn of Silver pulled up with a blood in one nostril, I think, as well, and coughing. So a couple of forgives. Yeah, just be a little bit wary of this race going forward. They tend to forget about Serati every second or third run. He's not a horse you usually want to take short odds about, but he's definitely a better horse than what the market usually gives him credit for. He's just one of those horses. So for whatever reason, yeah, they're riding this Asgarda really positively. Obviously, the gate was a bit tricky here, but ends up sitting outside leader and working hard. Felix Majestic and Glinda Silver roll forward. But I don't know why, you know, you're up there taking on Glinda Silver, who's a pretty fast horse for an outside leader position. But yeah, we've already chatted about that. We don't really need to touch on it again. But yeah, up outside a very fast tempo of pulling, and the winner's back here last. shows how good this horse is going. It gets clear as Garter, and then it just weakens late, and Serrati's just way too strong. But yeah, Lord of Biscay, something just not right about this horse. I didn't think it went that great first up. It was very short here, and even though he's lame, he's not a horse that I can trust. Formal display was better. It obviously didn't handle that track at Tuncurry last start, and Captain Furai's extremely honest. It just needs a heavy track to be able to quicken and get to its best. It's just not the same sort of beast on the top of the ground. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Paul. Yeah, it's good, mate. That's it. That's all you want. If you know what to pull out of it, as long as you're not going in there with false expectations, and you know what the consistency level is. All right, what's this race? Heritage Stakes. On paper, very plain race, this one. They go slow to the 8, slow to the 6, which is not normal. Obviously, these races from the chute, not as exposed as the other ones, but controlled speed the whole way. They don't really quicken. It's, slightly slow tempo, but it's only because they don't really quicken at any stage. Yeah, bit of a funky race, this one. Overall, be wary of the form coming out of it. I think Beedman can improve. I think he's completely overrated at this point, but he can improve off this. So whether the market overreacts to him being heavily backed here for whatever reason, it was just the weirdest betting move a day, or one of them. But yeah, he works hard in the run too, so he can improve. Rachel did a good job getting Acacia into a positive spot. Mahuna found the spot that I think everyone thought it would, sort of just camping on the leaders. Hidden Motive wasn't bad. Grand Eagle wasn't bad. Farnicle was really good, but probably needs 1,400 a mile to be dominant. I think a complete forgive Central Coast. He might be next prep though. It's more a race where I want to be sort of forgiving of horses than want to find horses with confidence coming out of it, I'd say. Most of these horses out of this race are going to need to be well placed going forward. I don't think it's a super strong race, but yeah, Central Coast gets caught wide and working. Farnicle definitely just needed to land that pair closer, but that wasn't possible. Mahuna gets the best run you've ever seen. Acacia a little bit keen, but as close as it could be, and following the right horse, every possible chance it was given in the run. And Grand Eagle looked very dangerous there for a couple of strides, but didn't let down like he sort of can. So whether he tops him off this or not, I'm not sure. I thought sort of clean out trial in the first up run, he might be ready to go here, but maybe next start he'll improve again. He did get held up for a couple of strides, but he was a little bit plain when he got out, I thought. I thought he might dash a little bit quicker than what he did. And it's not as if they're coming home at a rate of knots. They're sort of just coming home at an even sort of decent sprint home into the wind. But yeah, for me, sort of solid but wary. Solid but wary. Solid but wary. Set outside leader. Solid first up, leading into that breeze, but they didn't go hard. And neither did outside leader. Improved second up, but how much left to improve is probably the question there. And Farnicle's definitely the horse with all the upside, just not suited at all at 1,100 metres and an even sort of tempo. If they went a bit quicker, he probably wins. If he settles a pair closer, he probably wins, and he was 40-1. So I wish he had a one. Complete forgives the Central Coast, but needs to be well placed. Oh, broken back. Thought Acacia was going to go straight past the winner. So did I. And the winners are not it's not a sharp horse, or she's not a sharp horse. She's definitely a grinder. Doesn't surprise me that she sort of kicked on too well for Acacia once it didn't get to it quickly and go past it. She's even in the slipper in the start before that. She's sort of a horse that, not a flat spot, but just builds through her gears. She's not super flashy, and that was just the perfect race and the perfect race shape for her. If they could have gone a bit quicker, obviously it would have probably been even better, but I think she's sort of tradesman, but how far will she get? Not sure. I wouldn't imagine she'll have too many more starts. I don't think. Get the feel of that. Like, she's done a job, come back at 3 and won a group race. How much more does she need to do, even though that was only a listed race? Golden Pendant, another smelly race. They go quick here, then they pull up between the 8 and the 6, and they come home, you know, similar time to that previous race. This one, again, they've worked a bit harder here into the breeze. So, is it Gerringong leads this one, I think? So Gerringong, yeah, does a bit of work early, then tries to pull them up, and then sort of battles away. Very similar to Mahuna, just every conceivable possible chance. Moonee, which looked the case on paper, and worked out that way. I don't know why Firestorm was so short here, especially the sort of way the track was, but he actually rode it really well, found the back of Moonee in the run, which you'd think would be the most dangerous position, and had its chance. This horse, is it not in the screen? Medela. Yeah, I'm not going to say horrifically placed, but horrifically placed at the weights and the track and everything possible against it, coming out of an enormous run in a midway. Went well again, I thought, for an easier race, but hard to place, no doubt. Medela's back here. Bit of a smelly race again. Bossy Nick, who I don't think's a super horse, just sort of ends up close up. Just another race where I'm not really sold that Moonal's. It's going okay, but it doesn't feel like it's got a lot of upside. Gerringong, to me, doesn't feel like it's anywhere near its best. You can see, like, even Tim's not the sort of jockey to want to try and let the other horses get back into the race and pull up between the 8 and the 6 unless he thinks the lead and the horse is vulnerable. So I don't think there's huge, I don't think it's airborne Gerringong, and it sort of holds on for second. So the whole race to me is a little bit smelly. Medela made that nice run from the back and then sort of levels out. It should peak next start. Hopefully draws a gate in a little bit easier. It can be hard to beat, but sort of Bossy Nick looks like it's held up in here. There's not a lot of margin anywhere in the race. To me, it's just a nothing race, completely nothing. They go for 2 lengths below standard off a fast first half, pretty much. I don't think it's a great race. Manal's been well placed its last 2 starts. No comment, no comment, no comment. Not much there. Okay, now we get to the main event. I still can't really explain this. How do we say this without getting arrested? It feels to me like a very elegant sort of run. Paul made a comment on Twitter today, which is pretty true, as in this horse was the second fastest to the 200 metres all day, leading, and then sort of doesn't stop, not bursting through the line. They go about 5.7 quick to the 800. They quicken to the 6 to 6, 7 above, and then come home in even time, but that's still about 7 lengths above standard. They run a track record. As I said, they're the only horse all day to do it without cover, the only horse to lead and win. What is the, like, it's either, you said it's either a Cox Plate horse, or what is it? Are they going to freshen it back to the Coolmore? Seems strange. I don't know. If you believe what you see here, why wouldn't you just go and win the Caulfield Guineas? I don't really understand what you do. Whether you can't really run Tempted in this, in the Golden Rose over this horse, can you? I don't know. Race shape obviously doesn't look great there with Overpass and Car Yung Rising in it to put some pressure on you, as well as Private Harry if it earns its place this week. Yeah, I don't know what this was. I just don't know. Let's have a look, but it just went too good to be true. It doesn't look like they're going fast and they're going quick. Talk about McAvoy's ride. So, couple of things. Laughable. Post-race jockeys report of 60s. It didn't show as much speed as it has normally. I was surprised. Couldn't cross, blah, blah. McAvoy was going to come out positive, doesn't. Comes out positive for about 1 inch. There, then he's looking across. It's like, man. And then he must have just thought, oh, well, I'll duck him behind. And next thing, Ethan Brown's pulled his pants down. Like, come on, man, give it a chance. Like, this horse had to be given a dig, which would have forced either Rachel to push on, or he could have got the front. Like, it got just a terrible ride. I'm not making excuses saying it should have won or anything. I'm just saying this horse has been horribly handed. Most of its starts. The only time it's ever really been given its chance was its first start in a race. And sorry, not first start, the start before the Golden Slipper where it was sent to the front and just dominated. I don't think we really know how good Skyhook is. I don't know, and I think they're freshening for the Coolmore too. I'd be tempted to go to the Caulfield Guineas again the way he went. So, yeah, from a reason here, he's ended up 3 wide, ends up pushing forward, and they're going very fast here, even though it looks like they're not. So, yeah, he gets caught here, just literally given no winning chance. It looks like they're going slow, and I understand they're downwind, but far out. They've just absolutely ripped through the first half of the race, and he's never stopped working. Woden's had the suck of all time. Tempted did have to be used a little bit early, so second up 1400 off a really strong effort, 1200 first up. Not surprised she regressed a little bit, and I think she's definitely a horse that could freshen up potentially and run well in the Everest. Exposed early here as well, right? You'd have to say this is as good as Woden can possibly go. I just don't know what this is. I just don't. And this horse was an incredibly good effort. First up, second up. He was a good result. Like, he was completely underrated here, but the performance is the hard thing to quantify. Like, how good was it? How good was it? How does it do what it does here? I don't understand how it just smashes them over 1400 metres. I just don't get it after working. And it's not as if it was mad on pace. It's not as if it's found the fast lane. It's not as if anything... And have a look at it. And it pricks its ears across the line, unless I'm going mad. He stops hitting it and it pricks its ears. Skyhook comes back on the line. Autumn Boy, I think, was okay. Just a really weird race shape where it was stuck wide and working. I think its effort was all right. I'd expect it to run well in the Caulfield Guineas. Yeah, I'm still no rap on Woden. I think she went as well as she could have second up. Given everything, this horse is just dead set gone like a rocket. Don't know why you'd want to come back in trip with this horse, but maybe it'd just dominated Coolmore if it produced that again. I just don't know what that was. 60s galloped on Skyhook, did it? I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I said the Frigid King. Yeah, I agree. Weird. Just weird. Just a weird race. Yeah, like Everest or Guineas. Everest, like... I don't know. Which horse would you run in the Everest? This horse or this horse? It'd be crazy to leave this horse at home and run this horse, wouldn't it? I just can't imagine she measures up. And I think he's up against it too, but he's just broke the track record. Into the wind, leading, doing all the work. So, I don't know. The answer's a pineapple. He definitely had interest to the field if he ran. There's no doubt about that. And, yeah, I think they're going to freshen this nightmare of a creature up and send it to the Coolmore, but I'd rather it probably run in the Caulfield Guineas personally. And I really don't care where Woden goes. All right, that's that race. Answers a pineapple. Shannon Stakes. I think everyone in the world thought this was a gimme race for Rise at Dawn, and the price certainly reflected that. Just an insanely short price for this horse that was sort of second up off an okay effort. Didn't begin the greatest, and, you know, a couple of jockeys obviously looked at the map and saw an opening for a bright young player. J-Mac was one of those. I don't know why. I don't know why Anna Roper wasn't more positive on Shahisha to try and hold that spot. I think the horse only went plain anyway, but I thought it was a missed opportunity. The race is pretty smelly. We'll go back. This horse, NCAP, is just not jumping and not mustering, which I hate as a trait. Like, look, he's already whipping. It's like the horse half wants to pull up. Look at him whipping the horse and trying to get it moving. I hate that because he looks like he's going well and he's got good ability, but he just won't go, and I just hate that. I hate it. I think this horse, Democracy Manifest, can improve. Now, that's about it. The winner was good, but he's that sort of horse. He's a sucky creature, isn't he, Waterford? When he gets the right run, he can look like a very good horse. And then he just flops around out the back and runs a nice third, fourth, fifth for the next 5 starts. He's an absolute nightmare of a creature, but when he was third the fence here, you knew you were in trouble if you're on the leader. I was hoping Shahisha would be in that position, but as I said, it sort of only went plain anyway. He might have gone a touch too slow on the leader. They go sort of the length and a half below, slow down to 3 lengths below to the 600-metre mark, which may have played into Waterford's hands a little bit too much. They come home about 3 above for a very even sort of overall time off a slowish tempo. So, he might have gone a bit slow on the leader, but it was only second up. And Shahish is back in here. Doesn't really ever get room to wind up. I just think it was a bit of a forgive. Democracy was all right. His end cap coming down the outside after it didn't want to go the first 200 or 300 metres of the race. So these are all sucky creatures, aren't they? Sort of Unspoken, Osipenko, NCAP, Our Gold Hope. They're all the same creature. Shahish is only lightly raced, but was well up in grade here and horribly handicapped. They're all suckies. Maison Louis was okay first up at this sort of grade off a staying 3-year-old prep last time in. So they were forgives and Faulkner Park raced up on speed, which was weird. I'd be forgiving of it too. I think I'd treat this race as just a glorified barrier trial. G'day, Piri. Yeah, that's the problem, Sacred Falls. It's a weird horse, isn't it? But he wasn't hard ridden and stuff. It's just, geez, it's hard to win races doing that. I know he's run some huge races, but it's just hard to win races doing it. It's just very hard to win races doing it. He's got an engine. There's definitely no doubt that he's got an engine. And, well, look, again, like, we're not talking ill of the dead a bit, and I'm not dead. Dead's a bad word, but I think Big Gaz Portelli's, we'll have a look. Raise 9, NCAT. Here it is here. Big Gaz Portelli. That's the last year. This is the last 90 days. I don't know if you could read that. 1 from 87, and it was at Kembla. 15-1 chance at Kembla. 1 from 87. Yeah, that's it. That's the problem. When horses lose their pattern and start doing that, it's just weird. It's like they don't want to race anymore. I just hate it. I just hate it. G'day, Moscow. You'd hate to say that a stable change would be interesting, but it certainly would be. But it won't happen. All right, the last. Probably need to go back to the other screen where I was. Here we go. Where's that at? I've lost my screen. Yeah, this horse is airborne. I kind of nailed this race down to these two as the main chances, and they were both very well backed. I thought Rosalind Star. I thought this was Rosalind Star's chance in life, and I think it was. It wasn't really Zach's fault. Lands in a decent spot, just doesn't get that clean air when he needs to. Just has a little bumping duel when he's trying to get out, which costs him the race, I would say. But the winner's airborne, and certainly no knock on the winner at all. They've gone fast. They've sped up from the 6 to the 8, and then they've come home above average, and this horse has come from the back. So the winner's come home sort of 7 or 9 above its last 800, 7 above its last 600 from a backward position off a strong but even tempo. So, arguably the win of the day, I would say. It's just all apart from Baywhack, which is completely inexplicable. But, this horse is airborne, 3 in a row for Björn. He's just a freak with these horses, changing stables.
Now he does so, and they're off and racing.
This horse was a good return. Mr. Bojangles. Wish he had a run third. This is Polyglot. I think it went as good as it can possibly go. Rosalind Star in the red ends up in a good spot. Monty Supreme here. So it's the funny part about this horse. Like, it just keeps getting back, but it's actually got it can land in a midfield or better position if they want to in a better, like a more steady run race. This was always going to be run fast. I thought there was strange tactics here. Sunrise taking a sit, not wanting to go to the front. Maybe the way the track was, I'm not sure. But Confess Our Dreams pushes on. Poor old Tickle Belly never has much luck. Actually went okay, I thought. Bonita Queen not ridden for speed. Sammy Conquersor went okay. Chidiac was a sort of a, I think it looked like it had half a barrier trial to me. Chidiac, I'm not really sure, but yeah, so the separation here is interesting. Here's Rosalind Star in the red with the white cap. And Monty Supreme's back here, 3 wide. So, pardon me. So Sunrise was a forgive first up, working hard. Tickle Belly was a forgive. Every chance in the run, Rosalind Star, right? Just bumping with Sunrise here just costed the race. Just doesn't get to be able to sort of push out and build momentum at that stage where Monty Supreme's getting through his gears. So I think if he had been able to get out 100, 200 metres early, probably pinches that extra half a length, doesn't expend that energy of pushing Sunrise out of the way, and Monty doesn't get to him. But, you know, that is splitting hairs. Well, Chidiac was okay, I thought. I think it's in the Kosciuszko. I didn't think this was a bad run. Zoo Baby first up. I thought it just had a barrier trial taken back from the inside draw, the outside draw. I thought it just had a complete barrier trial. As I said, I think Sunrise is forgivable. Not a big fan of this horse Polyglot. I think it'll be overrated again wherever it goes, most likely. And Mr. Bojangles, I just hope they don't step it up in trip. I think kept to sort of 1,200 metres is its go. Obviously needs a rider change and, yeah, a nice draw. I think he can win a race straight away. So, yeah, I'd be wary of him, but you probably won't get all those conditions, especially the rider change. Yeah, I think this will be a strong race. I think this will be a very strong form race. I think plenty of winners will come out of this. I think Tickle Belly's not going as bad, anywhere near as bad as what he seems. I think his first 2 runs back have been good. Sort of 12, 13, 1,400 metres in a race where he can get closer to the speed. He can win straight away, for sure. Yeah, well, Chautauqua, right? Oh, Baywhack, mate. I would be shocked if he goes to the Caulfield Guineas, Wally. I'd love him to go there, but I'd be shocked if he goes there. I'd be shocked. All right, that's the Sydney meeting. I can take a breath. Next. What do we got next? We'll go back to the Valley. Quickly look at these races. I don't think they're worth much time. The Stutt Stakes, it'll feed a few races over the next few weeks, but it was putrid, I'd say. West of Swindon works a little bit. Sort of, you call it an even tempo. Got a bit of a rest between the 8 and the 6 and then sort of kicked on. I don't think this race will really feed much. Vinrock had excuses, but I don't think it's much good. I really don't. Like, these horses are heading to the Caulfield Guineas. If something can't beat these horses, then we're struggling. So Vinrock definitely did sort of knuckle or something happened to it. Vinrock's out here, second from the outside in gate 8, I think that is. So there, it sort of, I don't know what happened, whether it knuckled or went up or down or what it did, but it definitely missed the kick. I don't think the plan was to lead on West of Swindon. They probably hoped to get on the back of Vinrock or something like that, and then he's left in front. Completely controls. They're back in the pack. They're sort of running up each other's bums and getting a bit over racing and what have you. Vinrock never really looks likely when he doesn't come wide. You know that he thinks he's in trouble, that he's not going to be able to make up that ground. He's trying to pinch runs. Definitely a forgive, but gee, look at the race. Like, just a very steady race, I'd say. Now, like talking about Caulfield Guineas in particular, if these horses all line up against each other again, you know, they're going to be competitive, but that's about it. I heard the Godolphin CEO talk about Baywhack on this again, and it sounded like he'll end up at the Coolmore. Yeah, I'd say that's probably right, Zao. It's a shame, but I think so. Well, I think it went okay. I think it went fine. I think the price was ridiculously short. I think Rise at Dawn was priced off a map that everyone expected him to go to the front. It was a procession and, they'd hand him the race. I don't think that was ever really going to happen. Obviously, second up. I think Josh probably went a little bit too slow on it, if anything. If he went a little bit bit quicker, it probably would have finished a length closer. But, the best ride won the race, the best. It's not a bad horse either, Waterford. I think he went fine, mate. I think he went fine. Golden Rose the only form line. I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't be overly disappointed. I think it was a pass mark. I think if he had have got to the front easier, not had to sort of work and whatever, maybe you could be a little bit more disappointed. But I thought he went okay. This race is interesting, but again, nothing special on paper. They don't really do anything the whole race. They sort of are just below standard time the whole way. So they don't really go quick at any stage. They don't. They just go sort of slightly below average the whole way. Winner was a good effort. This thing's interesting, this Point Barrow, but it's another one of these sucky horses that he needs everything to go his way, I feel. He's got this big turn of foot, and if he's saved for it, he's really dangerous, but he's just going to drive you mad. He's definitely got an engine.
So it's Escher with Stardom, who sits outside the favourite. 700 metres to go.
Should the protest have been upheld?
Is Escher controlling this from Stardom at the 450. Next in the field is the Queenslander.
I don't know. I think Nash was cooked. I think he's trying to ride too light. But probably say yes. I'd say it was lucky to hold the race, to be fair. Here's Point Barrow down the outside. Huge. One through the middle was unlucky too in the pink. Just couldn't get on its right leg to quicken, only sort of balances up with about 50 or 100 to go, so it doesn't get on its right leg at all. And then sort of starts to get on its right leg, but yeah, a bit of a sucky race again. I'll be wary of the race, especially going sort of up in grade again. Coming back maybe, Point Barrow ran the second fastest last 6.4 and 2 of the meeting. So, plenty of merit in its run. It's just yeah, and it did draw 11. So I'm probably being too harsh on the horse. It only has had a few starts. I think it's sort of more box-seated last time. It was 5th of 6 runners. So, but, it's in its whole life. It's gone on the fastest last 800, 4th fastest last 6, second fastest last 2 of the meeting, its first run ever on a 1,000 metres on a wet track in a pretty fast run race. Then came out and I can't believe I missed that She Moves 2 on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was in that first race. I can't believe I missed it. Didn't look flashy first up, and then second up it did look flashy, but it was one of those cuddle bang runs, and I never really believe them. Maybe I'm being harsh because it's gone 11,000 up to 1,200. Maybe I'm being harsh on this horse, as in it's a suck horse at the moment, but it just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it needs to season up. It just, to me, it just looks like it's full of energy, and I don't know, it's just something not right about the horse, but it's definitely got a big turn of foot and a big engine. Vain Girl. Yeah, it's an interesting horse. I don't know why they ran it first up 1,200. I thought that was very strange with Vain Girl. Maybe it was really wound up and ready to go. There was a huge tip around for it, but yeah. Feehan Stakes, just a really good ride here. The first time this horse has ever really been controlled completely, and then, used the sprint from the 800 metre mark, which sucked the life out of Treasure of the Moment. You would imagine they've gone pretty soft on Treasure of the Moment after the colic attack. I can't possibly believe that they would jam a lot of work into this horse after the colic attack. So, she was always going to be fitness vulnerable. And what I actually like about this race is watching it, you're just hoping they don't go 20 above and Treasure of the Moment's going to be gutted chasing the leader and just finish for the prep, which I thought was a massive chance of happening. But considering the tempo was so controlled and they've only really sprinted home from the 800 metre mark, to me that's, or probably 1,000 metre mark, but either way, to me that should be a really nice run to bring Treasure of the Moment on. Also should bring the winner on, who paraded with a lot of improvement, probably the worst I've ever seen it just from what I saw on television. She definitely looked like she's got a heap to come. So, you know, hopefully the ride here and we'll bring on the winner and bring on Treasure of the Moment, and they can both sort of step up from here. The horse that the jury's out on a little bit is Tom Kitten back in the race. I don't really know what to make of his run here, but he's sort of been on the back foot ever since he missed that run. But yeah, a great ride, pedal down. Here, I'd say you were pretty comfortable yourself that Treasure of the Moment was going to pick her up and just gap her, and then, you know, sort of 200 metres time, we've seen so many horses chase this horse and not be able to peg her back, especially around a circuit here. Like Amelia's Jewel was never the same after it beat her. Oh, I've got no problem in the world with the run of Treasure of the Moment here. It's just price was too short, and the winner was very well ridden. That doesn't surprise me, Ardzina, because she'd had a run. And the interesting part is there, like, look at Tom Kitten's run the fastest 8 to the 6, 8 to the 4, 8 to the 2 of the meeting from out the back. So, you know, his effort's not anywhere near as plain as it looks. He's run the fastest last 800 of the meeting. So, why would Zara care? What was the question? Why would Zara care about gutting her, or? Because Lane will get back on? I think he just gave her its chance. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he could have beat the winner with a bat. Manikato, another smelly race. Patchy run race. So times-wise here, they go slow. They hold that sort of 3 lengths below to the 8, 2 lengths below, and then come home a couple of lengths above. The winner goes very well, trialled well. Actually, there's a horse I want to pinpoint. Remind me, Charmstone trial. I'll forget, but remind me. I'll look it up in a sec. Because if this horse is going around Saturday, I don't understand how it's the price it is, even if it's up against nice horses. So yeah, I think the key to sort of, we'll look at Lady Shenandoah. You can see that James McDonald was definitely keen to go forward on Lady Shenandoah, and I think Nash was too. It's just super weird on Rothfire, but then as soon as Rothfire... see, like, Nash is right there, so is Lady Shenandoah. And next thing, Nash is reverse parking, and he's dragging J-Mac back with him. Like, you can see J-Mac's like, okay, Nash is going to be 3 wide outside him. I'm going to get straight onto his back. As soon as he commits to that, Nash decides to grab hold and just drags Lady Shenandoah out of the race completely. And I think maybe he was aiming for that spot, which gets filled. He's just completely... It's no one's fault. But yeah, she's ended up probably 2 or 3 lengths further back than what probably I and everyone else thought she would with Rothfire. And then Rothfire doesn't take her anywhere. She's forced to go wide, and you can see she's getting keen. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Lady Shenandoah for mine. I'm forgiving her. It's probably more a question of whether the depth of the race is what you want to question. But I just, yeah, the sort of stop-starty race. And like Skybird fails, Alabama Lass fails, Barrackill's going for a break now off this. I thought it was terrible. It's a smelly race. Magic Time, they're talking about getting a run in the Everest off this. I probably, and I love the horse Magic Time. I couldn't take it in an Everest off this. I just don't understand how you could possibly take it in an Everest off this. And I still think Lady Shenandoah can win the Everest, but I just think she's the one that, you know, around the valley the first time, never really looks like she lets down and has a lot of trouble in the run. Yeah, cheeky race. The winner goes good. It's entitled to win. It's just had the best run in the race, but it's gone well. Well prepared. Hard to knock it. Mate, you're telling me that Charmstone gallops super now. Why are you telling me that now? How does that help me? Where's the 33 to 1 mile before the race? What am I looking at? Charmstone. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one, right?
And the light blinks away. This is jump out number 2 of the morning, 800 metres, gates crash, and away they go. Buenas Noches will settle towards the end of the field. Proved came out full of running. Charmstone is moving up on the outside.
If this horse isn't ready to explode on the weekend, I'm not here.
Last Charmstone to its outside. Buenas Noches is back at the end with also Sunshine in My Pocket. They've reached the 300.
Blink is on.
It's Charmstone on the outside with Proved. Followed then by Jimmy Ricard, who's getting into its gears the outside, and then comes Buenas Noches. Charmstone in front, but here comes Jimmy Ricard, who moves up on the outside to Charmstone.
Whatever beats this horse on the weekend, if it runs in that race against Rosberg, it'll want to be far lap.
Followed next by Inside. Reached the 300 with Proved. Followed.
Checking if did she wear headgear? No. That was Charmstone's trial before it went out and won the Manikato off the back of that trial. And the horse that gapped it and looked like it could have jumped over it and eaten it is running in a race against 3-year-olds on the weekend. I'm assuming. And it's $6 or $7. Stutt Stakes, we'll have a quick look at this. Putrid race, they go slow, they go slower, they come home slower. It's just absolute crap. All of the on paces have gone like bustards. Well ridden the winner, but it's picked up the pieces in a crap race. Yeah, it's called Ratings to Win. Cool.
Jumped away well with a bounding, and also Jenny the Fox. He is showing speed on the outside. 0-2 Goods going with those trying to find a forward position. At another profit.
Yeah, so weird. They look like they're going quick here, but they're not. They pull up, which they do here. You can see visibly they pull up. Yeah, good ride to sort of get into the 3 wide line and chime in, but yeah, obviously something wrong with Just Feeling Lucky. 0-2 Good goes like a busted as well. Abalore looks like it's a good run, but it makes sense because Abalore sort of had to sit 3 wide and do a lot of work after it couldn't muster early. So it looked like it was a really good run, but, you know, it's not a bad run in a crap race. Abounding probably should have won, especially the way the race was run, very slow run race. I would say that Abounding would have won for sure if it got the run earlier. Just got sort of bottled up. But, yeah, just a completely crap race. Be very wary of that form. All right, we'll have a look at these 2 races at Sandown quickly, and then we're done. We can talk about this week's races. And, geez, I've smashed through an hour. I've got through all those races in an hour. It's not bad. All right, we'll have a look at these 2 races. King Zephyr was good. We'll talk about King Zephyr. They went ridiculously slow. The tempos were horrifically slow in the first half of the card here, and then the second half they decided to just go like jets. So I don't really know what happened. But the first half were embarrassing. King Zephyr comes off a 9 length below standard 800 to 7 lengths below the 6 and comes home 6 above. It's come home sort of 12 above off a slow tempo. Yeah, I wouldn't be stretching it to further than 1400 if it was mine, King Zephyr. If anything, I'd be bringing it back to 1200. There might be a nice straight race for it or something. I'm not convinced it wants further, but it was just a very strong win regardless. This race is the opposite. They go quite quick. 5 lengths above to the 800, 4 lengths above to the 600, and then slow home. So, you know, even though this horse was unlucky, sort of gets dragged back here. I think Shin's intent was to be a lot closer, and then once they start to go quick, which is, he's not dragging the horse back. He's actually trying to hold a spot. So it's the tempo of the race that gets away from him. But he also lands in this awkward spot here and sort of gets dragged back and dragged back and dragged back. So, yeah, I don't think it was a bad ride. Like, look at this. I don't think it was a bad ride. He was sort of just a victim of circumstance. Definitely should have won the race. But in saying that, very, very much so pace assisted. I've been desperate to see this horse to get to 1400 for Vivia. I'm sure that it's going to be a decent horse next prep. It's won by Act of God here, but I don't think it's. I think it's a next prep horse, but I can't wait to see it to get to 1400 off a decent preparation, not 27th run in its first prep. So I'll lay Dancer down the outside. Oh, yeah, I thought it won live, and then somehow this horse gets the bob. But yeah, horses up on speed was certainly softened up. Salty Pearl had its chance. Yeah, like it should have won. But it was pace assisted, so you've got to sort of weigh those two things up a little bit. Don't think there's a lot worth saying there. Bella Zane improved. Who was number 2? Ethereum Girl wasn't bad either. Sort of, it's the horse here. First one gets to the leader and fights on pretty well, runs 4th. Not sold on Salty Pearl. It's the second time it's dived up on the inside and then sort of peaked out and hasn't been strong through the line, so I'm not sold on it at all. Sandown Stakes, what a win this was, off a 42-day break or something similar. Yeah, I couldn't tell at the time whether it was a brain snap or not. They sort of went even time to the 800. They go 5 lengths above between the 8 and the 6, so they really put the foot down from the 800 to the 600 and then come home just below even time for a fast overall time. So, yeah, this horse has gone like a rocket, and this is definitely two-rack form. Whether it's beat Seppel's form or not, but it's definitely two-rack form. So it doesn't begin the cleanest with the blinkers, sorry, the earmuffs off. Transatlantic ends up outside leader. Its effort's very good as well. So he's 3 wide, caught in an awkward spot. The horse starts to throw his head and do some weird things. Usually when they take the muffs off, they're very conservative with the horse, but yeah, he sort of takes off on it. So what's that pole there? Is that the 800-metre pole? So to that point there, they've gone pretty much even time, but he's worked the whole way. Then he puts the foot down. So then he puts the foot down, and Transatlantic's getting the best run you've ever seen behind. And then Transatlantic sort of comes at him late, and he's got the balls to sort of fight him off. Athanatos, a pretty tough horse back on the inside too. There's a lot of sort of horses that were fit enough to run on here. So, you know, his effort's enormous. If he can conserve his energy and he's not dead off the back of that, he's very dangerous in a two-rack. I think he'll beat Transatlantic home. Very, very good horse at Vaporate. Very good horse. Do I do a preview? I do a little birdie. I do goddamn everything, but I don't talk about all the races. I got like a subscription thing, so I don't come on before and give it all away. I just do sheets for them and whatever, but I do little birdie and all sorts of other things. So usually there's kind of yes, but I don't do a stream like this. No. Yeah, preview like 5 or 6 races a week normally. What do we got? All right, this week's races. Where's our RSG thing? There it goes there, so we don't get in trouble. There's a million of them, isn't there? So that race I was talking about before is the Danehill. So if you can confirm that Jimmy Ricard's going to the Danehill, it's $5 here, but I've seen better. I've seen sort of $6 and $7 around for this horse. So yeah, if Jimmy Ricard's like, they're obviously not gimmies. Roseburg was very good its first start. Tentris, I don't know whether it's going there or what the story is. They were still talking like possible chance of it going to the Everest. So I don't understand. I guess it could line up here and then go straight in there. Inkaruna was good first up. You know, Tycoon Stars, no Camel, neither's Legacy Bound. These aren't bad horses, but I think that with the blinkers going on, which I'm assuming they are, I think it's had 2 jump outs too. Let me just check. It has. So it's had a bit of a extended prep.
And the light blinks away. This is and away they go. One is not
So he's in here.
settled towards the end of the field. Jimmy Ricard. They've reached the 300-metre mark. It's Charmstone on the outside.
Oh, so he's had another one since then. Sorry.
And one scratching step the first 10.
So he's had a look down the straight.
Beat for speed in the early part has gone back. So over a length.
Again with blinkers.
Right there. So the now being way. Jimmy Ricard, and then came Rosberg, but McGaw 100
So here's,
to go. Now
here's Rosberg.
By Tentris as they come to
Oh, so they've all gone against each other. I haven't seen that one.
Just beat weights behind them, and Rosberg is last of the four. Coming to the last.
So this is the horse that was ridden. They tried to ride off speed last time. McGaw, Tentris, Jimmy Ricard, and Rosberg.
And it's McGaw now being joined by Tentris, who's only a neck away. Jimmy Ricard, and then came Rosberg, but McGaw 100 metres to go, now being tested by Tentris as they come to the finish, but McGaw clings.
No, I'm happy to back this horse. So McGaw's $15 in Karuna. We've got Tentris. Interesting. Daniel. Trav said it's going. Period. Interesting. Yeah, well, that'll be a great race. But I think if you can get the $6 or $7, I'm happy to take it. All right, next. Go from the top. Turnbull Stakes, Feisty at $2.20. Aliana $4. Sir Delius $5. Jeez, 8 into 5 Sir Delius. That's weird. Antino $8. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think there's any point into betting into this race early. Great race though. Great race. Yeah, Rosberg's very short, especially having to go down the straight, but it did move well there. It's a dangerous horse. It's just too short. So's the other horse first up, but geez, got some talent. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this race. I don't think it's a race I can see myself wanting to be too aggressive in. Epsom, $1.80 Autumn Glow. This is an interesting one. Just going backwards. I know she's only lightly raced, but I've already still got it in there. I had this argument with someone on the phone before. Not argument. Healthy chat. Yeah, I don't think it can, Paul. Not below its right distance. Yeah, so if you go through all this horse's form, and I'm its biggest fan, everyone's its biggest fan, but this horse, Autumn Glow, it's gone 1,300 on debut and won on a wet track or slightly wet track. We're talking Dawn Service, Iron Hawk, not great form. Wanneroo, Snack Bart, not great form. Snow in May, Manal, obviously that form's okay, but I don't think it's world beater form. She's been flawless every start. She's hit the line every start. She's a bloody good horse, but then she's come out beat Enriched and Gangster Granny. Enriched, what's that form? Then she's come out in a heavy track first up and beat Gangster Granny again, good. And then she's beaten General Salute and a horse first up here over 1,300. So she's got to go 1,300 to a mile. Never seen a mile. We're not jockey bashing on this channel anymore. But she's going to carry Kevin and McAvoy. What if she gets racing on him over a mile? Will he be able to hold her? There's got to be question marks. Geez. $1.80 in an Epsom. If she goes like Baywhacked, it won't matter. She'll hurdle him. But, yeah, to me, he's very dangerous. 25 to 1 was a great price. Will he do it's interesting. Its run first up was incredible. They are both interesting horses, but they're only $10. If they were a little bit better, sort of 15 to 1, you'd be probably sucked in a little bit more. But I think they'll both run very well. Pierre and Willie do it. It'll be interesting to see what happens with betting later in the week with this race. You wouldn't imagine Gringotts, Evaporate, NCAP, Alien. None of these horses are going to be there. So it's going to fall right away. Headley Grange is not going there. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much depth to this race. El Costello's probably going there. Yeah, so they probably won't get deeper prices. And I'm talking about Back and Willie Do It to beat Autumn Glow, so maybe the price is not that far away. Yeah, I don't know. Wait and see. But if it draws wide Autumn Glow, I think you got to wait and see. Because if it draws wide, anything could happen. Like, I'm talking wide. 15, 16, 17. If it draws wide and gets keen and got to run the mile out, might test her. Agree, Eddie? I don't know if Lazura's running. I don't think Cathay Millennium can run a strong mile and win. I think it's a 1400 metre horse. I'd be shocked if they went here. Royal Patronage is not going. Private Eye's not going. A lot of these horses aren't going. This is going to be a very, very weak race. There is no leader. There's literally no leader. Isn't that weird? She could be left in front. Amazing. Metrop. Yeah, I don't know who lines up there. Half Yours won't go there, will it? Soul of Spain will go there. Birdman, I'm not a fan of Birdman. I'm a fan of Soul of Spain, but short enough. Half Yours won't go there, I wouldn't assume. Four Barns, very dangerous. If you give that last run, it's very dangerous. And then Alicants won't go there, I don't think. Adelaide River's got a good chance. Gee, and then you just completely... Elamaz is interesting second up, but probably huge task second up. Golden Century, is that a joke? It can't get in the field, surely. It's not millions if it lines up. Oh, it probably is. Not a forgive, but it's not hopeless. Like if it draws a gate Travolta, if it draws like 3-2, 3-4 and can go to sleep, it's dangerous. 16-1, it's dangerous. Yeah, Rapaho maybe. Light Stakes, Apocalyptic, $1.60, $1.90. Tupacar. Is there any horse going there that's not got the same form as them? $13 Magenta Sky's insanely short, but it's the only new blood from New South Wales. Enviable can improve. But would you back Ole Dancer up? I probably would, just because of how bad the race is. Terrible race. How's Tupacara going to win over a mile? I'd have to catch a cat. That horse only won over 1,200, didn't it, at Moonee Valley? It won't show up. Enviable probably should be second or third pick. Well, but the problem is, Paul, this is as good as it gets. There's no depth really to these fillies. Yeah, you'd expect her to she's got as much improvement as anything in the race, you would expect. Probably justified even money. No interest though. Premier Stakes, will Big Bad Private Harry bounce back? That's probably the biggest question mark there. I think War Machine's going to stay in Melbourne from what I've been told. Most likely won't line up. I think. Briassa and Jimmy Star just topping off for the Everest, so you don't want to go near them. Generosity's probably the only horse in the race racing for an Everest spot, apart from Private Harry. He probably has to run well to justify taking his position. can't see many holes in the market there. Yeah, I thought that was weird, Saintly. It didn't run. He needs to run well, exactly. And he's got the speed. You know, Marzu's the only other speed in the race, isn't he? I know Merck usually goes back now. Tiger Shark back. You know, they should control the speed between them. Browser, if it draws a gate, will try and do the same thing and bomb him late out to 1200 Jimmy Star. But you think, you get the big feeling he's just going to have another barrier trial, Jimmy Star. Well, you think Private Harry will be ridden positive this time. I think Marzu only did that because of the gate. Like, if he draws low Marzu, he'll be happy to take a sit, I would imagine. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're a Private Harry believer, but, I don't know, $5 seems no great luxury. Pulsify 1600 without Pia Attica. What have we got here? Attica's that thing, yeah, no. Ruination. Holy cow. Yeah, nothing there screaming back me. Bunch of similar sort of horses. Breeders' Plate. This would be interesting. This would be interesting. 2-year-olds. I might do a couple of previews for the 2-year-olds because I like going through their trials. Once you sort of get the barrier draws and everything, and riders are really important with the gym crack and the breeders. Once you get all the sort of information in front of you, I like going back through the trials then and seeing, you're trying to measure them up. I think it's much easier to do it that way than, like sometimes there's standout performances at the trials, but yeah, I think I prefer to wait and have a look at those. These horses both went like bustards the other day. Just a Journey Vivid Some. Yum was a 20-1 chance winner. Rusky Roma was a bit of a forgive. Magenta Skies is in 26 different races. Crikey, that looks a winnable race, that race. Here we go. So this is the race that War Machine's more likely to run in. The Fracas. Bonus Notches first up. If it runs. Too many horses nommed in too many different races, isn't there? 40 looked at it. Revelare versus Gilded Water. There's an interesting race. Momona. Rose at Kingston. Lazura like a Lucy on display. Too good. Went like a crab the other day. Rolling high, running by. Oof. Those races are all pretty similar, aren't they? Like, find the same horse. Better off alone in the gym cap home draws well. Can Within the Law run a race if it draws a gate? Oh, I think it can, but I think a mile tops it out. I couldn't see too many horses turning the table. I couldn't see Within the Law turning the tables on Apocalyptic. I could see Enviable running a good race at big odds, but I couldn't see anything else really turning the tables there. That other thing of Portelli's or whatever, is it Snowden's can run okay. Deacon, yeah. That's interesting. Gilded Water went like a jet the other day. Improved a lot off its first up run. I still want to see Revelare in a hard, fast run race. I don't think it's been in one, is it? Not over, like they walked the other day. Gilded Water coming out of a much faster run, better grounding sort of race, but it was not over 2,400, was it? Was it a little bit shorter? Was it 2,000 or 2,200 or something? Or 2,000? Yeah, I don't think it's got a high rating, Gilded Water. All right, I've seen enough. Street Artist, interesting in the Danehill. Street Artist is the horse that won with, is that the one that Maloney rides? It'll probably be 50 to 1 or something now. It's got a bloody, is it the thing that won at Sandown or something down the outside? Little sneaky Trent with his little sneaky out wide Pakenham trials for Deacon, eh? All right, guys, cheers. What have I got? I've got a pod thing on Wednesday at this point. Pod on Wednesday, pod on Saturday. So I'll be here. I'll be on for them. Pod on Wednesday, pod on Sunday. And I'll be live Saturday most likely. So I'll be around. Little Birdie Thursday. I think Little Birdie's pot's Saturday. So we'll be around. Too easy, Mac Truck. Well done, mate. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Tabs was good. Tabs was good. Nick's thing, Walsh Bay or whatever, was good. Just didn't Tabs. Tabs was ridiculous. Actually, that reminds me. I wouldn't mind having a look at what sort of sections Tabs ran. It went 13 above. They've gone 2 lengths above to the 600 metre mark, 11 lengths above in the Walsh Bay race. So that horse will be winning next start, that Queen Air or what it's called. And then in the Tabs race, they've gone 6 above to the 600 metre mark, come home 7 above for 13 above. They've broken the sound barrier. The track's obviously completely on fire. 1.5 sole time. So the times are ridiculous. But that's insane. So it's made up 6 lengths running away. Everyone would have seen it by now, but I've never seen anything like this. Good way to finish off. I don't know why she gets off the fence. So she's got the best run you've ever seen, and she stays off the fence and ends up behind El Camel here and gets dragged back. So here she is in the blinkers with the green. So instead of following the Segino horse through on the rails, she gets held up in this spot. Number 3 comes back on her. And she gets dragged back. So instead of having the best run of all time here, she's dragged back to like an extra 3 lengths in traffic, and I think she gets keen and pulling or whatever. And at this stage, I'm ready to put my head through the television. And a gap opens there, but this is insane. Like, this horse probably should run in the Epsom. And I thought, geez, they must have gone 100 miles an hour and stopped, but they didn't. Like, what the hell? Nothing else in the race is running on. And watch this. It's further in front. What price it in the Epsom? The strap break's over if it produces that. Dead Set got slaughtered and won by 8 running away in 1,000 metres an hour. Cheers, guys. See you later in the week.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.